Hello everyone, welcome to my 1000th subscriber special video. So, you're wondering, how do I make videos for my channel? What goes into my thoughts process? How do I brainstorm an idea and then transform it from a thought in my mind to a complete video for everyone to watch? I've been making videos consistently since March this year, although things go back a bit further to the day when I uploaded my very first game review video back in February 2022. Since then, I've been refining my video making process, getting better at producing them over time, and learning new things as I go along. I've only been consistently making videos for around 3 months, but I've learnt a lot over that period of time. It's like Dark Souls, where you're focusing on trial and error, looking at what's going well, and what you could do to avoid your past mistakes and aim high for the future. But this is only the introduction. We're barely starting this video from scratch here, and you want the meaty details on how I produce videos from start to finish. You ask, I deliver. So, as Travis Touchdown would say,
start the game.
Oh, and hit that subscribe button too. Ideas are important. They are the starting point for everything in this world. It gives room for experimentation and improvisation, and they especially thrive well in a creative setting. And when it comes to content creation, the sky's the limit when it comes to creating ideas for videos. When it comes down to an idea popping up in my mind for a video to produce, it might be just one thought, but it also comes down to one thing. Is it interesting enough for people to watch? Is it going to be an engaging topic to talk about? Is it also something that not a lot of people are talking about, specifically when it comes to video games? There might be more factors that come into play, but these three stick out in my mind very strongly. Video games come with it a wealth of ideas that I can build on and add my own twist to it. Once an idea strongly engages with my mind, there is no turning back, or to put it more bluntly, I'm never going back on my word. But when it comes to some video ideas, I can tell you what doesn't work. First of all, when it comes down to video game news, I've since realised that making short videos talking about it just doesn't feel as engaging or produced with as much passion from what I've seen when there are around hundreds of channels doing the same thing. I worked on a few of these shorter videos, like the PS5 Pro and Activision deal ones, but summing up the news and talking about my thoughts on it are just not enough to differentiate myself from other content creators. If I'm going to watch gaming news videos, I'm probably going to watch someone like Young Ye, Review Tech USA. Channels like those are incredibly established. Going forward, I just feel that those types of videos, they don't really work for me. However, what has worked in covering video game news and events has been deep, analytical, in-depth content on what's happening within the industry. I feel like I'm able to express my thoughts and analyze my ideas a lot more clearly with those videos. So once I've selected the industry topic that I want to cover, I also brainstorm the video games associated with that particular topic and use it as a bridge for the wider topic that I want to explain about in the video. I'm going to load up Google Docs, jot down the video game news story, everything related to it, and use that as a base with which to work with. This also means that I'm doing a lot of research when it comes to these types of videos. Without proper research and context, what's the point of these analysis videos? These videos work because they have a clear focus in mind, to inform and analyze what's going on within the video game industry. And usually the ballpark in terms of length is around 20 to 30 minutes long, which I feel is pretty sufficient for the most part. I also have a lot more fun finding more information and doing a lot of research, which definitely helps with writing scripts, something I'll be explaining later on in this video. They also resonate really well with you guys, since videos like the live service bubble, the dire state of Xbox, etc., they have done really well for my channel from the start. It also just doesn't have to be video game news analysis. There are far more big ideas about the video games themselves, and video game culture too. I've produced video game reviews in the past, and whilst they were a good start in terms of producing content, I think there is a lot to be improved on for future videos. A certain game might resonate really well in terms of making a detailed review on it, but at the same time, it just doesn't have to be a review about the game itself. It also has to be an aspect about the game that stands out from the rest. I jot down certain ideas on my documents so that when I'm ready to work on that specific video, I won't forget about the core idea behind them. these kinds of videos aren't milked by everyone, so there's a lot of potential in exploring these ideas in mind. When I've also finished a game that I want to cover for my channel, a key plan that I have for producing a video review is a rough draft of what I liked about the game and what I didn't like about it, and I use that as a base for expanding it as a whole. The same thing goes for exploring the culture about video games, looking at things that make the hobby so relatable to many of us who play a lot, or something that I've personally experienced within gaming, although I've only produced a backlog video so far. That video came about because I got anxious over my massive video game backlog and the fact that I got burnt out from playing Nier Replicant, and that video did so well that it made me think, yeah, I should make more videos like this. One thing that I love about videos on video game culture and reviews for the most part is that they're just more upbeat, positive and hopeful compared to the game news analysis videos where it just feels too serious. It's not perfect, but this is a good rundown of my thought process when I generate an idea for a video and then I place the first building blocks towards producing it. So, you said you wanted some gameplay, huh? Without gameplay, I wouldn't be able to produce even a good portion of my videos. It's a fundamental aspect to any gaming video because you want to show your skills in the game that you enjoy, or to show how good it is to someone who might be interested in buying it. It also makes for some nice background noise, but you also want to know how I record my gameplay, right? The easiest step for me is to just record from my consoles. Both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles have significantly improved recording quality compared to the last generation counterparts. For the most part, 1080p 60 is usually the standard for most games when I record on those consoles. Whenever I am playing a game on my PS5 or Xbox Series S, usually on the PlayStation side, I'd be pressing the create button on my controller, then select and save recent gameplay, and then I could pick whatever length I'd want for the specific video. It could be 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, even 30 minutes. On the Xbox, this is a little bit less intuitive. Yes, you have your share button, but when you hold it, it only records the last 30 seconds of your video. I use a USB stick, specifically formatted for my Xbox to record gameplay. By pressing the Xbox button, and then head into the capture and share section of the Xbox guide, and then I can start recording. This is easy for most games, but there are a few caveats. Some games record at 30 FPS despite the fact that they run better on the new consoles. And on the PlayStation, there are some games that triggered those annoying pop-ups saying they have reached the block scene. Yes, I understand, but these are for avoiding spoilers, but it's still a pain to see a significant portion of a game that I'm unable to record. The most notorious games for this include Persona 5 Vanilla and Royal's new content, most of Danganronpa V3 and Ultra Despair Girls, and Tales of Zestiria, which goes on to block the entire game from not just recording, but you can't even take screenshots to share with your friends. But there is one device, one handy device, that can change everything. Luckily, my capture card is ready to save the day. I installed an Elgato 4K60 Pro Mark II on my PC to make up for all of these issues. Whenever I want to record the console UIs or games that can't feasibly be recorded through my consoles, I can just hook up the HDMI switcher to my Elgato and then call it a day. The video quality I get from using my Elgato is also substantially superior compared to recording directly on console, since I can change the bitrate and also retain the 120Hz pass-through for certain games. This is also where my Nintendo Switch comes in. The Switch can only record clips for up to 20 seconds long with low resolutions, but once again Elgato saves the day. I can easily record my gameplay through Elgato with ease. It is also really handy for when I want to stream gameplay to my friends on Discord, and if I want to stream on YouTube and Twitch, but that is something for another day. Word of warning though, if you have a PS4 and a PS5, you have to disable HDCP before hooking it up to an Elgato. But it is a brilliant device for what I've used so far for recording a lot of gameplay. If need be, I can plug in my old PS4 Pro to record some gameplay, because not every PS4 game runs without issues on PS5. For PC, things are super easy, because I record from Nvidia Shadowplay and my recordings are of really good quality in the process. It also means that it's a sign that I have to get a bigger hard drive. No, seriously, there's going to be a day where my trusty 1TB drive is going to run out and I'll need something bigger sometime. Anyways, time to explain the scripting process. Now, this is the part of the video making process where all of those ideas that I'm thinking of slowly come to life. The script is an integral part of every one of my videos. because it's where the rough drafts of whatever ideas I've jotted down in a Google Doc become a reality. Firstly, I split the script into different parts of the video, from the introduction to the main body of the video having its own dedicated written part, to the conclusion. And for my longer videos, I try to make sure that the script is as long as possible to ensure that everything I want to address in it is as covered as well as it can be. For example, if I'm writing a video about E3 and how it died, I'd want to dedicate a portion of the script into its history by talking about the important parts of what defined that event to begin with. The same goes for every other rough section of the script that I'm aiming to talk about. What makes this method work so well for me is the fact that with all the ideas and rough drafts being taken into account, I'm working with a clear focus in mind. With my older video scripts, I just wrote what came into my mind as I continued to write them, but you can easily tell that I find it harder to express my thoughts as clearly as I can. Eventually, I would run out of what to say and then not know what to follow up on next. And for any content creator, this is a dangerous barrier to be up against. Ever since my channel began to grow, it's also meant that my scripts have to be more professional as they let on, and something had to change. By splitting every section of the video from the start, it makes the process a lot easier, and it's a more productive way of getting the script complete without worrying about the issues with length and how deep the video's analysis can go. It's not perfect, but it's something that I'll be able to refine with future videos. In case something that has also changed in relation to the topic, I can always go back and re-edit the script, just as so long as I haven't exactly begun recording my scripts at least. Something that I do try every now and then, and it doesn't always hit the mark with a lot of people, are any of the jokes I make in my videos. It's really hard to nail it with certain videos, particularly the serious gaming news analysis ones. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but once again, this is something that I can improve on over time. When it comes to gamer news analysis, it's like writing an essay. I have all my research saved on Chrome tabs to incorporate in my scripts, so I have something to support what I've written. Without proper evidence, like I said, it's a tough call to produce these types of videos. My scripts take a couple of days to write, and they are by far the building blocks for how my videos begin to take shape. Once everything is complete, I recheck the scripts for any errors that need changing before recording, and when that's all done, the script is ready for audio recording. But there's another part of making my videos that needs to be done first. Thumbnails! They are super important to making your videos stand out from the rest. If your thumbnails aren't well made, feel rushed, or look completely boring, it'll be hard to get people to watch your content. They are the first impression that people see when they look at your videos, and like I said, if your thumbnails are not attention grabbing, people will not see what your content is all about. My thumbnails, from what I've noticed, they've been somewhat trial and error in some ways, where some of them hit the right mark with the audience, others, just looking back, they just don't look as good as I thought when I first worked on them. It's a relatively simple process. I use Photoshop and I use a range of techniques to make my thumbnails look as appealing as possible, from putting video game characters and logos as the focal point of the thumbnail itself, to give it a clear proposition. But we're quite not done yet. The backgrounds are also given blur to make them look less distracting, and to create a bigger sense of focus on the characters and topic at hand. And I like to add strokes to them as well to make them stand out from the rest. This also goes for text as well, except I use a colour overlay to emphasise the sense of urgency for some videos, or to make it stand out even further from the rest. However, this is more of an area where I'm experimenting consistently, looking at ways to make my thumbnails look even more appealing to a wider audience, and it's a craft that I'm steadily improving on. It doesn't take me a whole lot of time to get everything done, but for the most part, whatever is produced by the end looks good to go. Now, this is where all the dots begin to connect, and that is with recording my scripts. I used Adobe Audition to record all of my scripts, and for the most part, it is superb when it comes to audio recording software. The UI is easy to understand, and I enjoy its feature set quite a lot. When I'm recording my scripts, I have Audition on my main monitor whilst having my script on the second monitor. It saves me a lot of hassle in having to multitask because I can click record whilst reading my script on the second monitor without a hitch. Recording my scripts has a lot of improvisation to it. I split my scripts into smaller parts to make it easier to digest, because I have this fear of stuttering, mumbling, and losing my concentration whilst I'm recording, and when that happens, I sometimes get frustrated. But this improvisation allows me to notice what's gone wrong and how I can record that specific part of my video better. And when I do it right, the final result usually turns out well. I edit all the data out when I record one part of the script, and I generally have to listen out for if noisy playing is heard in the background. I used to use NVIDIA Broadcast just to edit out a lot of background audio, but it's had its issues, like muffled audio, so I just returned to using my mic's basic settings. I record all my audio with a Blue Snowball, which has served me very well for around more than 5 years, but I'd like to do my videos a bit more justice in the future with a newer mic further down the line. Maybe not a Shure SM7B, that's a pipe dream. But something like a Blue Yeti or an Elgato Wave mic could do the job, but for now, I'm very happy with my Snowball. The final big stage of editing my videos, and oh boy, this is a big one. This is where everything, and I mean everything, comes together. I save just about everything I need in a dedicated folder for my videos and prepare them for editing. I primarily use Premiere Pro, and I have done so for the last 3 months. I previously used Sony Vegas for my older videos, like with my Halo Reach and Seascape review videos, but let's be honest, Sony Vegas is extremely limiting when it comes to the feature set and editing solutions available. I can give you an example of this. My preferred font for when I'm adding my text to the videos, it wasn't properly supported by Sony Vegas, and I couldn't even render short form content with it as well, so I switched to Premiere Pro. With Premiere Pro, I drag whatever video I need either in the media browser or just drag it towards a directory. Once that is done, I select a video that I want to trim down by selecting the best parts of what is available on that specific clip by marking in the start of that clip and marking out the end of it, and then I drag the video down into the timeline. The same thing happens for at least every gameplay clip I have available. Gradually, as I'm editing, the video begins to come together. It's tougher to get the right balance with certain videos though, particularly when it comes to gaming news content. Certain clips have to be edited in a concise way whilst also making sure it covers every part of the audio being recorded. With text, I do the same thing like with Photoshop, like resizing the text and giving it a stroke for it to stand out more and to introduce different parts of the video. And this has been a thing that I've been experimenting with recent videos, overlaying one video on top of another and boosting the opacity to give the video a big impact. I've liked the way that it's been done so far, and you'll be definitely seeing more of these effects in future videos. And of course, it couldn't be a Zerodrag video without having a banger of a song from a game that I've enjoyed. Video game music is always there in the background, except that the audio gain is massively reduced, because let's face it, you guys want to hear what I'm talking about at the end of the day. I generally enjoy adding in music from the likes of games like Persona, Trails, Katamari, Halo, and a couple other games to name a few. And once everything has been finished, I render the video, and depending on how long it is, it'll take a while for the finished project to end up on my finished videos folder. Video editing is still something that I'm learning with each new video. There are certain visual effects that draw people into certain videos that I would love to learn as I go along. But for a channel of my size, I'm happy with how my recent content has been shaping up so far. The final stage, of course, needs no introduction. I go onto YouTube, upload the video, but there are a few things that I need to do. The description and tags need to be in top tier shape, that is, making sure everything is as detailed as possible, alongside preparing cards and end screens throughout the video. Once YouTube has properly checked it, the video is ready to go public at a scheduled time. I know that I've only been doing this YouTube thing for about 3 months now, maybe more if you count the videos that I uploaded last year, but I've learned a lot from this process, and I still have so much to learn. I recommend making videos if you truly have the passion for them. If you have an affinity for anime and manga, make videos on that subject. A specific movie or TV series, go ahead. Science, feel free to make videos on that too. As long as you have a consistent, clear focus that you want to take your channel with, you're developing a clear identity as you upload. Don't upload videos on different subjects, or otherwise, it's going to be super hard for your channel to find its feet. Improvise and experiment on what resonates with your viewers. There's nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, this is the best part of having a small channel. You have free reign to experiment on a lot of ideas that you might be super interested in. Use that improvisation to improve your editing skills with thumbnails and videos. There's always a good learning curve that you can exploit to your advantage. The most important tip I can give you: be consistent. And I mean, be consistent. Keep giving people a reason to keep watching your content. Make those videos. Have a proper pipeline for producing them. And if you produce consistently high quality content at a steady pace, people will come to watch your content. It's the only way you can build up your channel. And you never know if you have that one video that blows up in the YouTube algorithm. Well, that was my 1000 subscriber special. And I hope it helps to inspire anyone who might be looking to get into YouTube. The whole process is fun if you make it as such, alongside learning from whatever tips that I have provided. I know that maybe one day I will look back with this video and think I could have done better with this back in the day, but for now, this is how I produce videos, from an idea in my mind or a Google Doc, all the way to uploading it onto YouTube for everyone to watch. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment or subscribe, it's really appreciated, alongside following my Twitter and joining my Discord. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.